Hello everyone, welcome back. This is going to be a very fun video. I'm very excited to film it. I asked on Reddit, because I'm under the booktube Reddit page, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. I posted to have people send me their unpopular bookish opinions. So in no particular order, we're going to go over some of these, and they're pretty good. So I'm very excited to be going over these. I'm not going to say the names of the people that posted them, because I just don't feel like that's necessary. But, yeah. So, without any further ado and rambling, because we all know I can ramble forever, let's get into the video. So we're just going to start off with an interesting one. It says, sometimes it feels like anybody is getting published these days. Now, I see that and my brain goes to Haley Pham, and I feel so bad. I haven't read her book yet, just Friends, but I really want to. But I've seen such mixed emotions and opinions on her book, and all I can think is, this is literally her first book she's ever published. Like, her first book ever, her debut novel. And these people are like trashing it, and it's so mean. And I don't know, maybe if it is that bad, but I don't see how it can really be that bad. Like, I haven't read it yet, so I can't say for sure, but I do plan to read it at some point soon. But it sounds really cute. It sounds like a cute, like, little rom-com story to me. And I love stories like that every once in a while. You want just like a little rom-com. Like, I don't understand why people have to be so mean. Because all I've seen is video after video after video, like, video essays of, like, people saying what's wrong with the book and why it's so bad, and I just want to, like, cringe. Why do we have to do that? But to get back on track with the opinion, I do agree to a point with that statement. However, I feel like it pairs well with something I see often, which is, why do booktubers think they need to publish books all the time? With that, I feel like those two kind of go well together, and here's why. So I feel like people think that booktubers, which a lot of times booktubers probably do get book deals because they're in the community already, and they have a following, they have like the resources for it and everything. So it does make sense in a way that happens easily, but at the same time, I don't think it's because I'm sorry. I don't think it's just because they're booktubers. Like, you need to have, okay, I guess saying this could go a different way, but in my opinion, you need to have a certain level of talent to write a book, don't you? Like, at the end of the day, I know there's terrible books out there, but at the end of the day, you would think, like, you need to at least have some level of literacy to write a book. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But, I don't know. I don't see the issue with, like, people getting published. If you don't like the person, or if you don't like the concept of the book, then don't read it. Like, at that point, don't read it. I don't know. I understand, because I also feel like part of it could lean towards the whole Alex Astor situation that we all know about, where people say that because her family had resources and her family was like wealthy and famous, whatever, that she got her book deal because of that. And I don't know if that was fully true. I didn't do a whole lot of research on that situation when it was coming out, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's always like that. I do think sometimes, obviously, people can have those situations where they're really lucky in that way, where they have connections. And, I mean, it's all about connections at the end of the day, which sucks, but that's just how it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that it's an issue with a lot of people getting published. I think it just depends on your style and what you like to read and who you want to support. And if you don't like booktubers getting book deals or doing books, then you don't have to read them. And that's where I'll leave that, because I could ramble about all of this for days, but I want to try and keep it. I need a drink. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. So, next one I'm going to say, there seems to be a lack of editing these days. I see a lot of typos and things like scenes that don't move along with the plot and should have been cut. I could also see that. This actually, I'm going to pair with another one, because I remember seeing another one similar to that. Where'd it go? Okay, here it is. Another one similar is they're bringing out sequels too quickly that no effort has gone into them, and the editing is practically non-existent. I'd rather wait. And I completely understand that point, and I agree. Sometimes it is better to wait longer because you want a good quality book. It's not always like best to slam out sequels like as quick as you can just to make your readers happy. It's about the quality of the writing as well that we look for, that we want a certain level of quality of writing to be there. So I completely agree with both of those. I do think editing is very important. I think that making sure the story is right, it might not have to be perfect, because nothing's going to ever be perfect, but if it can be the same quality of like the first book that you wrote, like keep the quality the same, then that would be obviously ideal, and that would probably mean that we would have to wait a little longer for each book in a series. But you know what, like I would also rather wait. I would rather wait to know that we're gonna get a quality sequel or third or fourth book in a series, rather than just, oh, the next one came out, oh, but it's not written really as well, like the writing's off, something's wrong with the characters, plot holes. Like I would much rather wait than deal with like plot holes and inconsistencies in a series, especially if it's become my favorite series. Like I want it to make sense. You want it to be cohesive and like make sense and be able to be followed. And yeah, I completely agree with that one. I know what people are talking about. Okay, here's a good one. Books are becoming way more overpriced because people want a retooled fanfiction with pretty, don't come at me, with pretty sprayed edges to display on their shelf than an actual quality story, which I guess this kind of goes into the one I just talked about too. Now that mass market paperbacks are ceasing production, so many big name publishing companies are going to struggle, if not completely go under, in the incoming, I can't talk tonight, in the incoming years. Wow. And affordable books will become inaccessible for many people. I agree with that 100%. I agree. And I'm going to follow that up with this. Somebody commented underneath that opinion and said that new hardcover releases are now selling at $41 Canadian. Hardcover books. $41. 41. That's insane. That's insane. Wow. Like, I can't even believe that. That's double the price that we have here in the US most of the time. Most of the time, new hardcovers are like, what, $21, $22? I mean, even that's steep, but, like, that's how it's been for a while, I feel like. $41 is insane. Like, that's wild. Yeah. That's really bad. Here's one. There's absolutely nothing wrong with reading trashy novels. Agreed. And that's all I have to say on that one. Not all books need a hardcover release. I agree. However, I do, for the most part, only buy hardcovers. I just like them better. But I do have some like paperbacks on my shelf as well. But I definitely prefer hardcovers. So I feel like if a book I like doesn't have a hardcover, I'll probably just get the Kindle version at that point. I don't know. That's just me. I like hardcover books the most. I already did that. Here's an interesting one. No issue. I'm really bad tonight. I'm so sorry. No issue with smut in the actual book, but putting it in an epilogue is a waste of my time. I'm not a fan of spice in books, just in general. Obviously, like, if there's, like, a tiny bit, I can just skip past it and not read it. But I look for books with no spice. That's just who I am. If you want to know more about that, I have a video on my channel. This is a little dark. It's fine. I have a video on my channel about when I was groomed at 16 years old. So, if you want to know more about why I don't look for spice in books, or one of the reasons why, go watch that video. I always have it linked in my description. Yeah, that was a... yeah. So, when people ask me why, that's one of the biggest reasons why I avoid spice. It's a trigger for me. It just is. So, but I don't know why it would be in an epilogue. That doesn't make sense. Epilogue is at the end of the book. So why would you put spice there? That doesn't really make any sense. If anyone knows of any books in particular that's done that, please let me know, because that's really weird. I feel like I've never seen that before. Okay, here's another interesting one. The Great Gatsby sucks. I've never read it, and I've also never seen the movie. Fun fact, I used to be a big fan of Leonardo DiCaprio. Not anymore. He's gross. He's icky. So, yeah, I just don't want to watch the movie because he's in it. But I've never read the book either. I really don't know what it's about. I know there's, like, a giant party, because that's, like, the only scene I've seen from the movie. But that's all I know. So, it's a classic that I know a lot of people love and a lot of people hate. So I feel like it's one or the other with Great Gatsby. I've never heard anyone be like, oh, I kind of like it. No, it's one you either love or hate. So I don't know. I've never read it, so I can't say for sure either way. Have you ever read it, and did you like it or hate it? Let me know in the comments. Let's see. A sprayed edge shouldn't automatically equal special edition. People are really coming after me. Not literally, obviously, in these opinions about sprayed edges. I am a sucker for sprayed edges, okay? I'll admit, in the past, I've bought some books just for the pretty cover and the sprayed edges. Yeah, it's really bad, I know. Really bad. I don't do that anymore. If a book that I love has a copy with sprayed edges and a pretty cover, I would choose that over the normal edition, obviously. But I don't pick books just based on that anymore, because I just can't afford to do that. But yeah, I'm guilty of that for sure. For sure. We've all been there. We've all been there, right? We've all fallen for a pretty sprayed edge on a book at one point or another. It's fine. There's no shame. Need hard covers with no jackets. Crap. I'm gonna replace the word there. Crap's just getting in my way, sliding all over the place. Okay, but then just take the cover off the book. Like, I feel like that's not really, like, a huge issue. I don't know. I feel like with dust jackets, it's also just, it makes the book prettier to me. I don't know. I don't mind dust jackets. I don't usually read hardcovers. They're just what I prefer to display on my shelves. I usually read books on my Kindle or on my phone. So, I mean, I don't usually read physical. I do read physical books, but I don't, like, gravitate towards that with, like, the jackets and stuff. So I don't know. If it bothers you, you could just take the jacket off. I feel like I see a lot of people do that reading vlogs anyway. So I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Where's some other ones? I really like old, clearly read books that aren't pristine. Brand new books are unappealing. I could see see that. I don't necessarily agree with it personally, just my taste. I don't agree with it because I love new pretty books, but I do have some used, like old and used books on my shelves for sure. I can see the appeal of wanting older books because they do look like, you can just tell they're well loved, and I do appreciate that. I don't like broken spines in my paperbacks, so I tend to avoid that. But yeah, just like really, I mean, I could show you my Beasley cover. It's very well used and kind of torn a little bit. Oops. I've read that book many times, so I mean the cover's gonna be a little worn. So like that point I can see it, but just getting older books, I don't know about that one. I don't know. That's not a thing for me. Ooh, I love this one. Just because a book is popular doesn't mean you're guaranteed to like it. Facts. Some people don't seem to want to put in the effort to discover their own taste in books. They just want people to tell them what's good, which is completely subjective. 1000% I agree. Now, saying that, I have gotten quite a few recs from like booktubers that I really like, and I've loved the books I've read so far from them. But I do have my own reading taste, and I don't just gravitate towards what's popular. I haven't read really any of the popular book talk books. I don't think I've read really any of them, now that I think about it. Maybe just ACOTAR. There's probably a couple other ones, but for the most part, I read what I like. So I do agree with that. Obviously, not everything that's popular is going to be for everybody. That's just not how it works. Not everyone's going to love a popular series. Not everyone's going to hate a popular series. It's just like everyone's tastes are different. You know, like, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. Let's just let each other enjoy what we enjoy. As long as it's not hurting anybody. Here's one. Not everything needs a screen adaptation. Yeah. Agreed. Let's stop with the Colleen Hoover book to movie adaptation, please. Please. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. I understand, obviously, Colleen Hoover is a popular author. Quote unquote popular. I get it to a point, but at the same time, it just feels like it's a cash grab. And I know people are saying that about the Harry Potter series, whatever. But honestly, to me, it feels like a cash grab because you're just putting big name actors in it because, you know, people are going to go watch it. And it's a waste of everyone's time. I'm so sorry. It ends with us. Is Ugly Love? No, not Ugly Love. I don't even remember the names of the books that have movies now, to be honest. What's that one called that just came out? I don't remember. You guys know the movies I'm talking about. Like, why do we need these books of these Colleen Hoover books made into movies? There's so many other books that can be made into movies. Like, they could have done so much more with Shadow and Bone. And I'll say it, they're gritted teeth. We still deserve a good quality adaptation of Six of Crows. In my opinion, we need an I can never say that word. Adaptation of Caraval. We need, I mean, there's so many books. And instead we just keep getting Colleen Hoover books that are made into movies. Why? I don't get it. It's so frustrating. She's not a good person. Like, I need to stop. I could go on about Colleen Hoover and the whole issue with that movie for so long. Has anyone, by the way, side note, speaking of Colleen Hoover movies, has anyone heard about the Blake Lively situation and that she lost her case? I was so excited to hear that. That made me so happy. She lost. Like, she lost. I had a feeling she would because she really didn't have a case. But, I mean, it's Amber Heard all over again, let's be honest. But man alive, I was so happy that day that I heard that. So, let's move on. That just, like, that news made my day. Let's see. If you annotate, that's fine, but to me it's a crime to write in a book. I can see that. I don't like to write in books either. I do annotate once in a while. If I really love a book, I'll annotate. But I usually just use like tabs, annotating tabs. I don't write in books. I don't underline in books. Unless it's on my Kindle. I don't like to write in books. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it. The one thing I will say, somebody else commented underneath that one saying that they love finding like used books that are older that people have written in, like that you can tell they were reading it and in the moment were writing notes of like what they felt while reading the book. I do like the idea of that. That's really cool to see someone else's like real-time thoughts as they were reading something. But other than that, I don't like the idea of writing in a book. It feels wrong to me. It feels not, yeah. It just doesn't feel right to me. So I use annotating tabs for mine most of the time. But, yeah, that's the last one. There was a few more, but I'm not going to go through those right now. Maybe at some point we can do a part 2. We'll see. If you want a part 2, let me know. Yeah. I'm also going to ask in this video, because I really want to do an assumptions about me video, because I know those were popular like a long time ago, I know. But I never got to do one then, and I feel like it's interesting. I want to do one. So if you have any assumptions you would like to leave in the comments, feel free to do that in the comments below. And then I will go over those in a future video. But until the next time, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I need to start saying that in every video now, because apparently that's like a real issue. I've seen a lot of people that watch my videos are not subscribed. Why? It's just a button. Hit the button. It makes everyone, it'll make us all happy. It'll make me happy, and it'll make you happy. I promise you won't regret it. I don't post as regularly as I want to. I plan to get back into that. I'm probably going to do a few reading vlogs coming up soon, so be on the lookout for those. And I think that's it, without any other rambling. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.